Got a couple of red wines today. They look like they're going to be different. This one says Bonterra Zinfandel. It's a Californian wine. Other one is Primitivo from Salento, which, if you know your Italian geography, or at least if you can picture Italy, Italy's shaped a bit like a high-heeled boot. Well, this is the bit of the heel. It's called the Salento Peninsula. In the province is called Puglia, and yeah, the grape here is Primitivo. Primitivo and Zinfandel are actually the same grape. Zinfandel was probably the first one that people who have been drinking wine came to know, thanks to the Californians, and they unfortunately came to know it through white Zinfandel. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about white Zinfandel. It's not my favourite style of wine. The red Zinfandel, however, is a really gutsy, proper, it's a hairy-chested wine, and I don't know why they fell out of favour. The reason why people started making white Zinfandel is because no one wanted to drink the red stuff, and they had all these grapes on their hands. What can we do with them? Someone had this bright idea of making them into an off-dry pink wine and calling it white Zinfandel. Great marketing. It did very well. But now the red Zinfandels are back in vogue, which is great. So I'm going to try this one, and it's the Bonterra. We've done some Bonterra wines on these before. It's the organic arm of Fetzer. And it's a 2007. These are both about the same price, £10–11. First thing I smell is that classic Zinfandel thing. It's like if you imagine if you froze this, it would got to make it a bit colder. It would go a bit more jelly-like. Well, it's blackcurrant jam. It's blackcurrant jelly. Blackberry, that brambly flavours with an edge of spice in there as well. It smells really good. That's just what I want from a Zinfandel. It's got that really lovely, rich, voluptuous fruit, but it's got this edge of spice as well. Some people like to ripen their Zinfandel too much and get it so... Zinfandel's a weird grape, because when you get a bunch of Zinfandel grapes straight off the vine at harvest time, you look at it and there's some grapes that are perfectly ripe, there are some that have turned into raisins, and there are some that have still got a green tinge to them. And what some people try to do is ripen them so much so any of the hint of the green tinge has gone. The only problem is then that more of the grapes on the bunch have turned to raisins. So you're left with this almost port-like wine. They're very big, they're very impressive. Some of them get to 17% alcohol. Are they very drinkable? No. Are they very balanced? For me, no. Some people love them, fine by me, but I prefer this one that's got a slightly earthy green edge to it. And it's I wouldn't say it's the sort of wine that you're going to chill, but that edge of greenness does mean it's rather more food friendly than some of the more sweeter port-like ones. My spitting vessel of choice today, Longley Farm yoghurt pot. Comes from a place called Home Firth. If you've ever heard of Home Firth, there's two reasons. Longley Farm yoghurts, which for me, I mean, I don't get precious about yoghurts, but the yoghurts here are really good. And the other thing, it's the place where Last of the Summer Wine is filmed. Anyway, the wine's good. So the next one, Primitivo from the Salento Peninsula, Cantalupi from Conti Zecca. This is the sort of wine that the Italians were really producing about 15 years ago. Yes, they'd be growing the grapes. I mean, these vines will have been here for a long, long time. But what was they'd bottle the wine on very rare occasions. Most of it would end up being shoved in a tanker and being shipped up further north into to bolster more anemic brews from northern Italy. And because there wasn't, it's a warm place, and they didn't really have the refrigeration and the bottling lines and all the modern technology to get the freshness of the grapes into the bottle. Now they do, and they're making wines like this. And it's a bit more backward than the Bonterra. The Bonterra bounces out of the glass. This one you almost have to coax out of the glass. So I'll give it a bit more of a slurp and a swill and a shake. There's a definite family resemblance there. They've both got this bright, bouncy fruit. This one, if anything, has got less of that jammy edge that the Bonterra's got, and more of a savoury, slightly meaty edge. It feels slightly closer to the earth. It feels, yeah, more the product of the soil maybe than of what a man's done to it. It's still really nice wine. I mean, for me, I mean these are great barbecue wines. People say they want something big and hearty to go with their steaks. Let's pull out a Shiraz. Well, I actually like these ones just as much because they've got that edge of grippy acidity from the slightly green edge on some of the bunches of grapes. Yeah, that bramble and spice. It's a common thread in both of them, but yeah, there really is a sort of old world, new world divide. The old world one is more, yeah, it's more earthy. The new world one, slightly cleaner, slightly sweeter and riper. But both at £11, really good wines.